tone chaser. That thing you hear in your head that you just can't quite get.
A song some of you may have heard before?
Jump? That's the first song that I wrote, that was recorded in my studio in 5150.
The first song?
First song.
Yeah, I mean, obviously a very important song for the band.
Yeah, which was also kind of shined on for a while because, it's pretty well known that certain people didn't want me playing keyboards.
Mm-hmm.
But, hey, I'll play Bavarian Cheese Whistle if I play it well. whatever that is.
That the biggest charting song, I think. Highest charting song.
I think it was.
Yeah.
And Dave said, you can't play keyboards, you know.
Yeah, you're a guitar hero.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. One of the things I was going to mention about that song is at the end of the song, obviously everyone's familiar with this. And that was, I think I've read this where he's had that in his mind, or that progression.
That was going to be a song.
He'd actually mentioned that.
Yeah, I think it's in the book.
Yeah,
because we talked about it. I remarked on that little bit on that outro. It's,
I guess it kind of does become a song in on For All Unlawful Carnal Knowledge. And that song, On Top of the World. Top of the World, On Top of the World. Where he recycles that riff.
That's so cool. Yeah, his sense of orchestration on that a little bit.
Solo.
Wow.
You can hear it when you hear it. You have the isolated tracks because of Guitar Hero. So you can hear where he's punched in part of that solo. So it's the first part. And now it's punched in. Anyway,
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Because I don't think he did much punching at all. I mean,
I saw an interview where Dave talks about it, and where he says the solos he did like 5 takes. So then I believe whether it would be Don and Ed working together and go, hey, I like this piece, let's put this piece. And then what Dave mentions is like, okay, his solos are, he'll go. All over the place. So it's going back and forth, and he goes, that's the reason why. But I don't know if that's true or not, but that's what they said.
Cool, man.
Panama?
Panama, just, wow. I don't know, it's kind of AC/DC inspired.
Yeah, I can see that.
We had just done the tour with them the year before. We opened for them. It was Motley Crue, us, and AC/DC in '83 in Europe.
Oh, in Europe, yeah, because I didn't remember that over here.
And just the power of those guys, just blew my mind.
Mm-hmm.
That constant boom, 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 boom,
Right.
That same song over and over, boom, boom, boom,
Yeah.
It's a great song, though. It just, they were probably one of the most powerful live bands I've ever seen in my life.
Mm-hmm.
And the energy, they're unstoppable.
Yeah.
Another song from 1984. Panama was the name of a car?
I believe so.
Dave's name of one of Dave's cars or something?
At least he's singing about a car, right?
Yeah, right.
Fuel injection and whatever.
Right.
Power steering.
Right. Oh, I'm sorry. I wanted to jump for just a moment.
Yeah.
That was originally the song, again, Edward talks about it in the book, where he was going to record his Lamborghini. It was originally going to go, and the song was originally called Go Ahead and Jump. In fact, I remember calling up to 5150 one day. He goes, yeah, man, guess what I'm doing? I go, what? Yeah, man, I'm recording the Lamborghini, And it's funny, because there were Lamborghini enthusiasts trying to surmise, well, did Ed pull the car into the studio?
Yeah.
And I go, well, no, I don't think that's what he did. Anyway.
How small was the studio? It was pretty small, I would imagine.
And like I said, it's hard for me to remember exactly, but there's no way the doors would have been big enough for a car to drive in.
Right.
And so I just parked it out in the driveway and, ran some mics and stuff, but pretty amazing that he would do that.
I was just going to mention on the intro to Panama, which most guitar players might know, is that it comes in on the N1. So it's like the drums come in first, and then the Ed comes in, so it's a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a and 1 and a 2 and a 3 and
That's so
Yeah.
cool. That's so cool. And we talked about that too. Was that a conscious thing that he did, or he just heard it that way, and we thought that it was just him
him and his brother
getting that connection with his brother.
Whatever it was going to be was going to be.
Yeah.
Whatever sounded right in their heads.
Yeah, exactly. And Mike said he sometimes had some problems kind of figuring out, where 1 was, and even though Ed says, I never wrote anything that wasn't in 4. Sorry.
Yeah.
I know.
Well, I think it's worth mentioning that Wolfgang was on Eddie Trunk last week, and he says his father couldn't count. He would say, me and Al would, Uncle Al would save his ass. Doing live, he'd look over, he said, Ed would look over, hey, we're crushing it, and they're thinking, we just saved you, that's why you're crushing it. I don't know if there's truth to that.
Funny.
But
Why Can't This Be Love?
Wrote that at the beach on an OB8 upstairs in the bedroom. And one of the first songs that Sammy actually said, you don't mind if I follow your melody, do you? Because the right hand of the keyboard is playing
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of what he's singing.
Right.
And I remember him saying, you don't mind, do you? I'm going, no, not at all. Fuck. It is difficult sometimes because I really like the music to hold on. If you remove the vocals, I want the music to hold up on its own.
Right.
And be interesting. Not just be bar chord bullshit, So sometimes it's difficult to have a counter melody to the melodies I come up with musically. Instrumentally, I mean. But that's why I dig Glen so much, because our metaphoric goal is to put lyrics and a melody over bom 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 bom. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, what would you sing or say over that encounter melody?
Right.
But that would be the shit, if that could be done. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that to me would be that's the marriage of great, a complete song. Great music that stands on its own. Great melody, great melodic music, great counter melody on the vocal melody, and great lyrics, and of course a good performance.
I mean, in your mind, have you reached those levels on any specific songs? I mean, does anything specifically stand out for you, or?
I don't think about it, and I don't really try to reach any level. I don't set goals. I don't strive for anything, except, if I'm not happy with how something sounds, I'll keep putzing with it until I like the way it sounds for the day. But then maybe a week later, I'll go, I didn't quite like that. And you move on and you try again. You know what I mean? I don't think you ever reach complete happiness. If you do, it's done.
Right.
It's over with,
Right.
What I thought was the shit 2 years ago isn't to me now. And it's just a matter, I think it's just human nature to change and to get tired of the same thing maybe, and I don't know what it is.
Right.
I'm always experimenting and dicking around, but not because of any goal or, I don't know how to explain really. I'm just, music's my life. That's why I built the studio.
Right, I understand.
It's not it's work, but it's not a job. I mean, it's very, very hard work, which a lot of people don't understand.
Right.
But
I know how hard you work at it.
It's not it's not a 9-to-5 job. It's a 25-hour-a-day job.
Right. I understand.
Why Can't This Be Love the 5150 record, which is another kind of a. Obviously, it's got a new singer in the band now.
Yeah.
Right.
I think most people would agree. It's a great band. It's just a different band. Different band altogether. You can tell by his song, obviously, with Why Can't This Be Love? It's such a departure from anything that they were doing. We don't play the Sammy stuff, so I don't. That's about the extent of much that I know.
Yeah,
that song.
No, that's cool. That's cool. Yeah, I mean, it was definitely a love affair between those guys. And, and I guess all good things have to come to an end. And, but,
when and I don't know how you felt about it, but when they went from when they did the split, and Dave went and did his thing with Eat 'Em and Smile, and then they came out with 5150. To me, as a fan, I felt, of course, Eddie's my obviously my hero and all that, but I just felt the Eat 'Em and Smile album sounded more Van Halen to me. Now, Steve Vai is not Van Halen; he's a completely different type of guitar player, and of course, he's extraordinary and he's amazing, in different ways. But I just felt like that album was more of a Van Halen vibe than the 5150 because it was such a departure from what they were doing, and what Dave was doing was a little bit more on par with what Van Halen continued to do. Even though I found out that later, and you may know this as well, is that entire album, Eat 'Em and Smile, was the soundtrack to his movie. Those songs were not written necessarily by Steve Vai or Billy Sheehan. Yeah. But those songs were already in works for the soundtrack, and they just applied their musicianship to them.
Yeah, I did not know that.
Yeah.
That's cool, man.
Hey everybody, how you doing? Listen, thank you so much for checking out the video. I hope you're digging it. More to come. And I can see by the views that a lot of people were checking in on it, and that is so cool. For those of you who don't have the book, if you dug the video and you want to learn more about Edward and my 26 years hanging out with him, please check out the book. You can buy the book on my newly created website, which is very cool. Bunch of cool pictures up there for you. The address is tonechaserbook.com. Tonechaserbook.com. Pretty simple. So yeah, that's about it. Please subscribe to my channel. That means a lot. That helps me put these together and, creating cool content for all you guys. That's about it. So again, thanks for checking my stuff out. Go check out my book. I know you'll dig it. And we'll talk to you soon. Bye, everybody.